Hi everyone, good morning. Hope you're all well. Put my glasses down. Okay, so I'm coming to you today with some mobility exercises because you might be feeling a bit stiff because I know we've all been doing various jobs at home, which is great. So we've got time to catch up on those lovely jobs. I'm just going to tilt the screen a little bit because I'm not sure it's quite in the right place. And as I say, it's still all quite a big learning curve for me. Let's see if that's any better. Okay. So exercise today, mobility based, because you might be feeling a little bit stiff or achy. I know I am because I've been sat at the computer for far too long. Just remember, as with all the exercises, anything that you do from the videos I share with you, the exercise sheets that I'm giving you, and I'm going to send you out some more of those, that you are taking full responsibility for your own health and safety. Any exercise, obviously, that you do at home is your responsibility, and I can't take any responsibility for any potential injury. So it's all making sure that you're nice and safe and following the instructions. Okay, so a little bit of mobility bias. Again, whether you watch this with me now, doing it with me now, whether you're going to do it later on, I hope you enjoy it. And please do come forward with any suggestions if there's any particular type of exercises you'd like me to do, any type of fitness, whether, Pilates based or something different. If I can, I will. All right, so let's get going. I'm just play some of my new music for you, so I just received and downloaded yesterday, so I hope you enjoyed that. So first of all, let's just do our setup. Let's turn that down a little bit. Okay, so bring your feet under your hips. Quick glance down, make sure that your toes are nice and level. You might be in parallel. You might feel more comfortable with that little bit of turnout, just whatever feels good for you, as long as we're not going for big turnout. So if this is what's comfortable for you, you know who you are. I want you to work on bringing your feet in a little bit more. And over time, it should then feel more comfortable to stand in a straighter position. Okay, so we're going to lift through the crown of the head, drawing up from here. My hair's getting longer every time I do this. By the end of this, my hair will probably be down here, very grey. So we're lifting through crown of head, we're sliding middle finger down those invisible seams on the outer thighs. So let's just come into our neutral pelvis. So this is a nice mobility exercise in itself, tucking the tailbone under and pushing the tailbone back. So if you find your back's a little bit niggly, even just standing and doing a few of these movements can make it feel better, make it feel more comfortable. So now come to that halfway point and settle, and then make sure you've got that gentle draw in. You might want to think about bringing your bottom ribs a little bit closer towards your hip bone. So you just close that gap slightly, so you feel that little bit of pulling. So arm flaps by your sides, looking straight ahead, chin knot position, and let's just start by rolling the shoulders. Ooh, sorry, I jumped a mile. Something just landed on the conservatory roof then. Sorry, I don't know if you could hear it or not, but it really made me jump, as you might have been able to see. So anyway, shoulders up, back, and slide them down. So I don't know about you, my shoulders have been feeling quite stiff. So this is actually feeling really, really nice to do. It's a nice big range of movements. And I know usually in class we do the backwards part because that's the sort of posture that we want to encourage, that movement. If you want to do some forwards as well, if that feels nice, just to help loosen up, or maybe alternate. Maybe do one forwards and one backwards. As long as when you come forward, you're not really rounding the upper back, you are just getting the shoulders moving. So keep alternating if you want to. I'm going to stay with the backwards one because that's what feels nice for me. And we'll do 3, 2, and last one. And settle the shoulders down. Okay, so from there, I'm just going to do a little shoulder movement. So just a little forward and backwards movement. This is getting a little bit of movement into the spine as well. So again, that can feel nice around the whole, that sort of upper back area really. And I just quite like moves like this because you can get a little bit funkier, so that's it. Okay, roll the shoulders back again and settle there. So let's do our chin slides and retraction. So imaginary shelf under the chin, sliding the chin forwards and backwards. So nice mobility for the cervical vertebrae, the neck area. This obviously helps with shoulders as well because of muscle attachment from where the neck muscles attach. So keep that chin nod position. Remember, imagine trying to make a double chin. You draw back, hopefully I'm not. I don't like seeing myself on video, so. Okay, and we'll do one more of those and come back to centre. And then we're going to rotate. So we've got this nice rotating movement side to side. And I found out something interesting the other day that I didn't know. I tend to start everything in class mirror image so that you're starting on your right side. Apparently it flicks round when you do Facebook Live, so you're probably seeing me do everything the wrong way around first, if that makes sense. It means that it looks like I'm going to my left first. I don't know if that makes sense. Okay, and of course you could hold to do the stretch if you want to. I'm just going to do a couple more of the rotating movements because that in itself feels really nice around my neck. And I'm going to come back to centre and I'm just going to have a good shake out. Okay, so staying with some spinal mobility next. Bring your feet underneath your hips again, and then we're going to step the right foot back. So we're coming into split tandem. Make sure the toes of your back foot are on the same line as the heel of your front foot, okay? But we are going to stay for today with the feet about hip distance apart. Shoulders drawing down, and try and get your weight fairly even through both feet. So from here, we're going to float the right arm forwards, and then just let it come slightly behind the body. Drawing the shoulder blades down, and keeping a nice long arm from shoulder through to fingertips. Trying to extend through the knees. So keep going with that. So as you do it, I want you to think about really using these thighs that run, these muscles that run down the front of your thighs, and imagine you're trying to pull them up into your hip bones. So we're really using those muscles to straighten the legs. And nice relaxed breathing. So, as the arm comes back on the next one, we're going to rotate to the same side as that arm. And we're going to turn the palm outwards if that's comfortable for your shoulder. And your hips will turn. I'm going to come on an angle. Your hips will turn slightly. I don't want you to try and keep your hips still. I do want you to allow your hips to turn a little bit, but not a lot. Nice relaxed breathing. Head turns with the movement, but keep the chin on the same level. So we're not trying to look down at that hand, we're keeping the chin on the same level. Just breathing comfortably. You may want to take the arm a little bit higher, if that's comfortable on your shoulder. Good. A little bit higher maybe. Or if it's comfortable to do it, bring the arm forward and now keep going and take it right up and over. Now obviously, because you know I've got these shoulder restrictions, especially on the other side, I'm not going to get a really full circle. You might. But I do want you to try and keep the elbows straight, so don't aim to go higher and bend. I want you to extend through the elbow. Make this next one the last two. Shoulder drawing down, and last one. And then we'll relax and we'll have a shakeout. So while we're having a shakeout, I'm just going to have a little look. Some messages I think popping up on the screen. Let me just check in case it's people saying that they can't hear me or anything like that. I'm just trying to check through my phone, but it's not working. So let me just have a quick look. No, hello, Alison. Hello, Alison. Don't worry, you can do it later. Do it any time you want to. Okay, so we're going to do that on the other side. So now you have a little bit of a shake out. Oh, go away. That's it. We're going to switch to the other side. So if you like to take your feet again hip distance apart, and this time step the opposite foot back. So it's my left foot for me, obviously opposite to whichever one you've been doing. Again, make sure the toes of the back foot are on the same line as the heel of the front foot. Feet staying hip distance apart and weight fairly even through the legs. We're of course keeping it neutral, we're keeping that little narrowing of the gap at the front. Pulling up through the thighs, shoulders back and down. So let's just start with an arm float. Nice, easy arm float. Lovely mobility and stability for your shoulders. So long arm. And if your shoulder's feeling a little bit stiff, mine is particularly this one that's a bit troublesome, you might want to keep all the movements smaller. You may just want to keep to this level, which is absolutely fine. Nice relaxed breathing. So on the next one, I'm going to allow my body to rotate the same way as the arm that's moving. So turning towards that moving arm. Allowing the palm to turn outwards if that feels comfortable on your shoulder. Sorry, I've got a hair coming across my face. And again, keeping the chin on the same level. So don't be tempted to look down at the hand. Keep looking to the same level. Again, just like you've got that shelf under your chin. So the head's staying on the same level all the time. Nice and relaxed. Nice, relaxed, easy breathing. Maybe if it's comfortable, starting to go a little bit higher with that arm. And remember, I do want your hips to turn at least slightly. Some of you may be comfortable only turning them a little bit. Some of you may want to turn them slightly more. Keep going, but I don't want you to turn them a lot because I don't know if you can see how I actually lose the rotation in my spine there and the movement's just coming from my feet. So just a small amount of turn of your hips. Shoulders drawing down. Now this is probably not going to be great on this side, but you can continue if you want to lift and come up, over and down. So again, just going for the range of movement that you can get and is comfortable, but keeping the elbow nice and straight. So obviously if you can go higher than I can, that's fine. If you could do a real reach right up to the ceiling, that's fine. But be careful the shoulder stays relaxed down. And if you prefer to stay with the forwards and backwards, you circle if you want. I'm coming back to this because I can feel that shoulder crunching quite a bit, it's not enjoying it. I'm going to do two more, so carry on with your full circle if that's comfortable. And last one. And rest there and shake it out. Well done. So while you're having a shake out or a drink, remember to keep drinking. I'm just going to check my little plan, what I'm going to do with you next. I'll grab a drink as well. Okay. So we are going to do a few squats. The reason being that it does mobilise through your knees, hips and ankles. So feet under hips, little finger tracking down those seams on the outer thighs, or putting hands behind your back if that's beneficial for your upper back, particularly if you tend to be a little bit rounded or you've got osteoporosis. That's a really good option. Okay, so here or here, send the butt back, breathe in as you bend your knees and you're coming down, and breathe out on the way up. Weight going back into the heel, so we should be able to wiggle our toes at the bottom. And remember, today we're doing it more for a mobility exercise. So without specifically thinking about squeezing the muscles, just maybe see if you can get a little bit lower. I'm just going to see if I can maybe just get a little bit lower in my knees. Because again, I really need to try and get my knees bending more than they do. And quite often, even like me, if it feels like your knees don't want to bend, it can be because they're a little bit stiff or uncomfortable. It's not necessarily because they haven't got the ability to do it. Sometimes we just need to I'm not saying go into pain, but just push yourselves a little bit further just to try and get things moving slightly more. I definitely need to do that with my knees. So because we're doing it more for a mobility exercise, we'll just do a couple more. Obviously you don't have to do this number if you don't wish to. And then last one, keeping that nice pull in, keeping that same gap between chin and chest, and then shake the legs out. All right, everybody. So we're going to come down onto the mats. I'm just going to clear this message off my screen. Excuse me, coming in a horrible close-up to you if you are there. There we go, that's better. Okay, so we're going to come down onto the mats. I'm going to start with some all fours work. So if you can, bring yourselves down with your split squat. Remember, if you are rolling down, hands against legs as you come down. Because we're coming into all fours, obviously I'm fortunate, I've got these thin squashy blocks here. If you do happen to have one, great, use it. Folded towel, or if you need something else under your knees, fairly flat cushion. Yeah. So you can use that. As long as it's not too bulky, you can use a flat cushion under your knees if you wish. Again, we're going to come into all fours. If anybody needs it underneath the heels of their hands, you might want to use, again, if you've got it, a thickish block, but like so, or a book. Book will be fine, a nice thick book. Right, so just move that out of the way for the moment. So into all fours, knees underneath your hips, hands underneath your shoulders. We're going to draw the shoulder blades down the upper back. So we're trying to fold our wings in and down. So from here, we're going to tuck the tailbone under and push the tailbone back. So we're doing that small movement. Excuse me, I've got cramp in my feet. Ooh, so I'm going to tuck my toes under for a moment because I've got some cramp there. And if you find you get cramp, then do this for a few moments. So we're just doing that small tilting movement that you do when we're setting up neutral pelvis. But again, we're doing it more for an exercise to mobilise through the lower part of the spine. So we get a nice little tuck under with the tailbone and a little push back with the tailbone. So again, if you are rounded in your upper back anyway, or particularly if you have osteoporosis or upper back disc issues, I want you to stay with this. For anybody who doesn't have any of those conditions, you might want to go a little bit further, tuck under, and then maybe just allow a little bit of rounding through your upper back, lengthen, and then just push the tailbone back slightly. So we're not getting a big dip in the back. So tuck under, suck your belly button in and up, maybe just round slightly between shoulder blades, head relaxes slightly forwards, lengthen to straight spine, and then just a little lift of your tailbone. Breathe comfortably. Of course, we're also getting some strengthening work through the wrists, so at any point if you need to just give those a little bit of a rest, that's absolutely fine. You could do the same exercise, better if you're a little bit higher than this, but you could do the same exercise, but just a small tilt down on forearms. Okay, so if you find that's a more comfortable option for you. And then again, if it's appropriate for your back, so if you don't have any osteoporosis or any natural rounding in your upper back, you can draw the belly button in, tuck the tailbone under, arch the back like a cat, and hold for a few seconds. So it's fairly commonly known as a cat stretch. And then release. And maybe do that again, or continue with the movement if that feels better. Breathe comfortably. And then release. Okay, so next you're going to come down onto one side. So if, like me, you feel a little bit uncomfortable sometimes on your bottom hip, put something, a folded towel or thin cushion underneath the hip. Obviously, if you don't have blocks, you can use a cushion or pillow to rest your head on. We're going to come down onto our sides. We want to make sure the head is comfortable and supported, so the head's at a suitable level. Shoulders one above the other, hip bones one above the other, knees bent, and ideally feet on the same line as your hips. So we're going to do side lying open dog. So we stretch both arms out in front, make sure the shoulders are back and they're down. Okay, a little lift of the bottom waist and rib away from the mat. So we're going to take a breath in. I want you to keep looking forward. As you breathe out, we're going to take the top hand up to the ceiling. Breathe in and breathe out. And again, breathe in, breathe out. This time just go a little bit further, and if you wish, start to turn the head. So with each movement, just go slightly further. Keeping the chin nodding down. So think about looking towards your armpit. And as we rotate further, I want to try and get the movement coming from the upper part of the back mainly. So think about turning, if you like, from your waist, but not really allowing your hips to come back a lot. Because again, if I show you, if I do that and let my hips drop back, I'm actually losing some of the rotation in my spine, as opposed to if I keep my hips fairly still. So nice big reach with the arm. Keeping the shoulder down. And making sure that the arm doesn't go back too far. So it's not so easy for me to do on this side, but if the arm starts to go back a long way, so once you've got to a stop with your body, try not to let the arm keep travelling back, because that really, really opens the front of the shoulder up and can put quite a bit of pressure through it. So keep a nice line all the way through. We'll do one more. And we'll rest there. So from here, you're going to turn onto your front. So I'm just going to move that away. And we're going to do a little bit of a stretch, or a bit of mobility and a bit of a stretch for the back. So if we're rolling over, and again, you may possibly want something under your face. We're going to do the swan dive exercise that I did on the video the other day. So, if you can get your arms into a W shape, please do. If not, don't worry. Just make sure, though, that the arms are even. Legs and feet relaxed and about hip distance apart. Shoulder blades sliding down the upper back. And then we roll our imaginary marble forward. We lift with that gentle feeling, so we're just trying to drag ourselves forward. And we lower down. So I'm doing it really more today for a mobility exercise through the spine. So I'm not going to do a lot. I'm going to breathe in. I'm going to breathe out. I'm going to breathe in and breathe out. Of course, if you prefer to breathe the opposite way round, please do. Reaching forward through the crown of the head. Then coming up, holding this next one. And then what I want you to do here is I want you to relax your weight into your arms. So really try and relax your weight into your arms. So we're using it more as a little stretch through the back. So reach forward through the crown of the head, but to try and make sure your back muscles aren't working too hard. Really take the weight here. Breathe comfortably and then release down. Okay, so from here, I am going to come up. I'm going to swing my legs around to the other side because otherwise you'll have a lovely view of my backside. You may just want to roll over and listen to me though. So again, we're going to come back to doing side lying open door exercise. So again, I'm going to put this under my hip to make it just a little bit more comfortable. Try it this way around today. See how that feels. Head relaxed. We're going to stack the shoulders. We're going to stack the hips. We're going to have the feet. You can do that sort of can-can move if you like to see. Feet on the same line as hips. Arms extended out in front. Shoulders back and down. Little lift of this underside. So we've got that bottom waist and rib lifting away from the mat. So take a breath in. As you breathe out, keep looking towards the screen. Just lift fingertips to ceiling with a nice long arm. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out, and just start to go a little bit further and allow your head to turn if that's comfortable. Breathe in and breathe out. And again, just starting to go slightly further each time. So particularly at the moment where your back may be a little bit niggly, it's good just to do it slowly so you can kind of test the waters if you like, to make sure that it's going to be comfortable on your back. And of course, if you try going a little bit further and it's not comfortable, bring that range of movement back to slightly less. So again, we're trying to keep the hips relatively still. There'll probably be a little bit of movement there, but again, we don't want them to drop back a long way. And I know most of you really enjoy and feel good doing this exercise. So it's great for making yourself feel a little bit more relaxed, less stressed as well. Keeping that nice chin nod position as we rotate. So again, we're not necessarily looking at the hand, we're looking more towards the armpit. And we'll do one more on this side. And rest there. Okay, buddy. So let's come over now to lie on my back. So rolling all in one movement. I'm just moving across. I'm going to do a little bit of mobility for the hips. So as you lie on your back, we want to make sure that we're a neutral pelvis. We are going to start with the legs and the feet in together here. So again, just get that little tilting movement through the pelvis, tailbone tucking under, tailbone pushing back. When you're ready, find and settle at the halfway point. Remember, if you feel like you do need something under the head, maybe a folded towel or a flattish cushion. So we're going to do it with legs and feet together. If you don't find that's comfortable though, you can move them to hip distance apart. Okay, be particularly careful, anybody with hip replacements, as to you might find that you prefer it with your legs and your feet apart. Okay, having said that, obviously I've had both hips replaced and I feel fine with them together, so it's just sort of see how you feel with it really. So keep that nice soft drawing at the front of the body. We're going to keep the pelvis stable, so it's about stable pelvic stability as well, this exercise. So you may want to put your fingertips on your hip bones. And then we're going to just allow one knee to come out to the side, only as far as you can go without letting the pelvis move. Coming back into centre, and then same on the other side. So we're wanting these hip bones to stay nice and level. We don't want to take the legs so far that that hip then drops down and we're coming out of alignment. So it's real true mobility at the hip. Again, you may want to think about breathing in and breathing out, or you might feel more comfortable doing it the other way. So I'm just going to turn on a slight angle if you keep going. Shoulders relaxed, back of the neck staying lengthened. So you've probably been thinking about the moving leg, because that's the leg I've talked about. Also, I want you to keep alternating sides. Oops, sorry, squeaky voice. I now want you to think about the inside leg, and I want you to really stabilise the inside leg. So that can just make it feel a little bit different. And if you don't want to keep your hands on your hip bones, that's fine. You might want to bring your arms by your sides. You might even want to place them on your ribs. I'm going to keep mine here. And don't worry about how far you're going. You might be surprised and find that you're not going as far as you thought you might, but you're getting proper mobility. So as I said before, it's better to keep really stable with the pelvis. Maybe only go to here rather than, oh, I can take my leg out there, but if you see what's happening to my pelvis, it's come completely out of alignment. So let's do one more each side. It's going to be a little bit of work on the muscles around the hip joint as well. And the last one. And coming back to centre. And if you feel like you want to stretch your legs out, maybe stretch your arms out, please do. Or if you prefer to tuck up into a wall, then again, please do. So while you're just doing your little tuck up, I'm just going to come up to seating even. I'm going to just check that I've done everything that I wanted to do with you today. And see if there's anything extra. Okay. So now I think that's really everything that I wanted to do with you today, because I wanted to keep it just a more of a mobility based exercise. So I hope that that's been beneficial for you. Remember, obviously you can watch these videos back at any time and as many times as you want to. And I'm trying to put titles on them so you can find certain ones rather than having to plough through them all, because I appreciate that would be pretty boring for you. So obviously this will have mobility bias tagged to it, or put as a title to it. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Please carry on, everybody staying safe. I do miss you. This isn't the same at all, but at least if we can keep moving, then that's a huge, huge bonus, and we won't hopefully have major creaking and cracking going on when we're all back together in class. All right, so take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. If you want to do something else a bit later, I'm going to follow this up, not doing it live. I'm going to record a little dance workout, and I'll put that on as well if that's something that you would fancy to do later on. All right, so make sure, obviously, getting up from the floor, we're coming up nice and safely. And I should grab my glasses because otherwise I can't see because I'm clicking on without them. Take care, everyone. Thank you ever so much. And I'll see you all again very soon. Oh, hey, Billy. Oh, sorry.